Mm.
I'm here with Lisa Murray, my good friend from Brisbane, talking about how to use the tools of access consciousness in business. How are you today, Lisa?
Hi, Justine. I'm great. How are you?
Very well. I know for me, I've been working doing the PR for Access for probably about 3 years now. And boy, has my life and business just expanded dynamically. And we were having a chat the other day and saying, how's your business changed? And we thought, look, we may as well do a little hangout and share these wonderful tools, and hopefully it can improve your business as well.
Yeah, it's amazing, really, because, I mean, I've done business for a really long time, and when I came to Access about, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, I was so done with business. I was like, I hate business. I never want to do it again. And, in the midst of burnout, those things sort of cross your mind. And it's been amazing to see the change that's been created just from using different tools. And probably one of the biggest things for me, Justine, has just been willing to be in the question with things and not come to those conclusions of things like I hate business. Because once I realized that I didn't really hate business, I was just saying that to myself. It was amazing what changed for me as well. And I think one of the first things I'd like to tell people about is, well, if you stop judging your business, if you stop judging you for what you've created in your business, it is amazing what can change, because the moment we judge something, it's like we stop all the possibilities. Don't know if you've ever noticed that one.
Yes, big time, big time. And I think as well for me is really trusting yourself and having that awareness in yourself. Like Gary, I remember said to me one day, he goes, "I hire you for your awareness," and that was a really big like, oh my gosh moment. And I actually use that with my staff now. And I empower them rather than disempowering them and going, I'm trusting you, like, I hire you for your awareness. And that is just such a different way of doing business that's just opened up so many different possibilities. Um, and I think as well, not expecting anything from anyone, that's been a really big tip for me.
Yeah, oh, it's so true, isn't it? Because I mean, most of how people normally do business is based on all of the expectations and all of the goals that you have to meet.
Mm.
And I've never been big on the whole goals thing. Like, I can write a strategic plan, very easily. I did thousands of them, literally. And yet, this thing of being in the question and being really present with what is right now, because so
Yeah.
many businesses set a plan and then, years later, they're still working a plan that actually isn't relevant anymore.
Yeah.
And I realized that this thing of being able to be really present in the moment and go, what can work now? What is possible now is such a gift, because it actually allows you to play with the possibilities that are available rather than trying to force something into being. And, just that one thing of not forcing things anymore has actually changed things dynamically for me, because I realized how much energy it took to force things into being.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wonder how much more ease we could have with business using these tools.
Yeah. How have you found that your business has changed dynamically since you've been using the tools?
Well, for me, I guess, first of all, before Access, I mean, I was working for other people most of the time. So it is different, of course, because when you can get to choose whatever you would like to do in a day, it's quite dynamically different, actually. But what I would say most of all is that there's just this ease and this flow with it that is always there. Like, it really doesn't matter what shows up. I can go, okay, cool. What question can I ask about this? What can I do with this? What's possible here that I've never even seen as possible before? And just in asking those questions, it starts to dissipate any sort of anxiety that there might be. And what I've realized is that that thing you were talking about with the awareness, if you play with that and you actually go, well, what am I aware of here? Because what I realized was that when I worked for other people, I always had so much awareness of what was going on. And I was always the one, talking about the elephant in the room, and people going, oh my God, she's talking about that thing that no one wanted to talk about. And what I realized was, actually, if you just be with that in your own business and go, well, okay, can I talk about this or not? Then it really does change things dramatically, because I've realized that there's a lot of things people don't want to know. And so you can't tell them everything that you're aware of. You just got to play with, well, what can we talk about that can actually change something?
Yeah. And even what you said, that just like the asking questions. Say, for example, I do a lot of pitching with my business, which is PR. So I'm constantly on the phone trying to get my clients into the media, trying to secure them a TV spot, trying to secure them a radio spot. Sometimes I'm working for like up to a year on getting one client onto one outlet. And when I get a no, I notice this time I go, okay, well, how does it get any better than that? And I take the trauma and drama out of it, going, instead of like, oh my gosh, and then I ask the question, go, well, what else is possible? And then that space actually makes it a lot lighter. And then what I actually did is I was like, what else is possible? Okay, so then I went into the back end and went around through a different producer, and I ended up securing like the client on TV. So I think it's like the questions get you into a little bit of a lightness with the business rather than everything being, oh my gosh, I'm feeling so heavy.
Yeah, oh, for sure. And, you know, that is the brilliance of you, that you will just keep going. You know, we love that about you. So, yeah, and it's interesting, you know, because like every time I go to an Access Consciousness class, and like particularly the level 2 and 3 classes, you know, that Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here facilitate, those classes, like it's like almost like there is hundreds of pages in the manuals for those classes. And when I look at them, I go, wow, almost every tool in there you can apply to business. And like we're talking probably about like less than 0.0001% of what the tools are that are available. And it really amazes me, like, how different you can create your business just by using some really simple tools. And that thing you were saying about the drama of it, like, yeah, that just doesn't exist anymore, which is such a gift, you know, because I actually wake up happy. I don't know about you, but I wake up happy and I really enjoy my work. And there's a lot of people I know that can't say that.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's okay to have fun in business as well is a big thing. Like everyone thinks it has to be significant. But I know you had a really good tool and process to kind of wrap up the call with that we could share.
Yeah, so one of the things that I use, because a lot of people like make decisions from a really serious kind of heavy place, and they're always like, okay, so, you know, they do all the pros and cons and they work it all out in their head. And, you know, I was the best overthinker of all time. So please, you know that before we start this. And what I realized was that actually thinking it out never got me to the place I'd like to go. And so now, whenever I've got a choice to make, what I look at is, okay, first of all, this choice is only good for 10 seconds. I can change my mind at any time. So that sort of takes all the significance out of it. And then the second thing to look at is, well, if I choose this, what's my life going to be like in 5 years? What's my business going to be like in 5 years? And if I don't choose it, what's my life going to be like in 5 years? Or what's my business going to be like in 5 years? And when you ask that question, for each one of those questions, there's a lightness or a heaviness. So it either is light and expansive, or it's a bit maybe heavy and clunky and funky. And if you just go with the energy of it rather than the logic of it, you're going to create a lot more ease in your business. And this goes for anything, whether you're hiring someone to work for you, whether you're deciding what kind of promotion you're going to do for an event, whether you're looking at, you know, who you're going to have as a business partner. It doesn't really matter what the question is, but asking that question, it creates this sense of clarity and ease. And what I've found is, like, any time that I've chosen the heavy clunky thing because I thought I knew better, because we all do that, you know, once or twice, it's like it stuffs up or it gets really messy, and then you look back and you go, oh my gosh, I knew that moment when I could have chosen something different and I didn't. And I guess that's the beauty of the Access tools, is you can always just choose again, and you don't have to make yourself wrong for it either. You can just go, okay, whoops, I'll be more aware of that next time, you know?
Well, even that, you know, what will my life be like? That just goes back to where I started, is really trusting your awareness. And I guess that's the most thing that I really got from level 2 and 3 was trusting me. It was a big thing to start doing. And yeah, that's just changed things dynamically, because when you've got your own back, so many things can expand. Life gets a lot easier rather than fighting against you the whole time.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing, right? How much we fight against ourselves, and how much we like handicap ourselves by going really slowly and like trying to do the logical ways that everyone else does, that are slow, actually. Like the speed with which we create business is one of the things I love most too, because it's like, oh, this is the speed that I know how to work at. And I was always slowing myself down, to try and fit into how people think you should do business. So yeah, it's very cool. Lots of really amazing tools, Justine. So we have classes coming up in Australia over the next few months. There's level 2 and 3 class with Gary Douglas in Sydney. Do you want to tell me about that?
Yeah, the level 2 and 3 is at the end of September in Surrey Hills at the Adena. And that is I had it up here, the 26th to the 29th of September. And then we've got some on the Sunshine Coast coming up.
Yes, also there's other classes that are not business class, or well, level 2 and 3 goes beyond business actually, but there's body classes, there's all sorts of things coming up during September with Gary Douglas. And also at the end of the year, there's a level 2 and 3 in Noosa. How did we get so lucky? So so if you would like to know more about any of the classes and all of these amazing tools, if you go to www.accessdownunder.com, you can find out everything that's coming. There's also, actually, Justine, maybe we should just put a quick mention in of the benevolent capitalism class that's coming up too. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so excited about that one. The Bowmans, who many of you know, they work with a lot of CEOs and directors. They're doing a class with Gary Douglas in Melbourne called Benevolent Capitalism. And it's really about beyond mindful leadership and creating a better world, and that better world starts with you. So I'm really excited about that one because I do get excited about business, and that's happening in September at Melbourne. You can go to GaryMDouglas.com or benevolentcapitalism.com to find out more details.
Yay, thank you. Okay, I think that's all for today. So go play with the tools, ask some questions, see what can change for you and how much your business can expand if you're willing to play with it.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Justine.